Thank you, Dr. Pettit and Dr. Miner, Dr. Ware. Any more doctors out there? This really is unusual trying to talk to people. You can't tell whether they're laughing or frowning or what. You said I couldn't recognize Knox. I didn't know that's Knox, so you said so. I still ain't sure that's Knox. That's you? And I recognize Mark Hammond and Mike. I recognize. I see a lot of I think friends in here that I've seen before. But I am happy to be here. And we do get. It's hard to recognize in these masks, but those of us on television pretty often can get recognized anywhere, even when our face is covered up. Sometimes the reporters and people doing stories come into the house, as a mansion, and you're all invited one day whenever the virus goes away. And they do little stories on Peggy and our little bulldog, English bulldog. But it seemed like we all get recognized, and this really happened. My daughter, she and her husband bought a house recently. She was calling around to get some furniture, and she called a place, and she said, "Oh, yeah, she's Mary Rogers at McMaster, now Mary Rogers McMaster Herskovich." She says, "I saw your dad, my son and I, 9-year-old boy, saw your dad at Home Depot." She said, "Really?" She said, "Yeah, we were looking, and there were 3 men in dark suits, and one of them had a bulldog on a leash, and they were walking around Home Depot." And my son looked up and said, "Mama, those must be important people. Who is that?" She said, "Well, just keep thinking, keep watching." She said, then we watched. She went out and got into the big black Suburban with another one following behind it. Somebody, the security detail, opened the door, and we got in. The boy says, "I know who that is." She says, "Who is it?" She says, "That's the governor." She said, "How'd you figure that out?" He said, "I recognize the dog." So y'all be looking for Little Mac on the television. This is a great day, sure enough. We got to have brain power in South Carolina. That's the way to get to where we will go. And there has been a transformation. Knox been a big part of it here in Greenville, and other leaders as well. One thing that hadn't changed a bit, though, is the core mission of Bob Jones University. Started, as I recall, in Florida, moved to Tennessee. I just found out a little while ago why you have that color bricks out there, because that's what was available at the cost when you started, and you've been sticking with that color ever since and been sticking with your core mission. And that core mission is not going to change, and that's very, very important, particularly today when we have people wanting to change everything, to have some things don't change. You got to have things you can depend on. You got to have continuity. And I want to ask all of you to realize that and get involved in these things and seeing that the troubling forces that are going across our state and country do not enter this place, and do your best to keep on the steady line in everything you do to keep our state out of the trouble that they're having in some other places. But the mission of this place is wonderful. This grand opening is a milestone, and it is, as Lindsay mentioned, what a high coincidence with after all of this planning that here you are producing doctors to be and nurses to be at a time when a worldwide pandemic is right upon. They say there's no such thing as coincidences in big things, and maybe this is one of those. The record 80% of BJU's pre-med graduates, as mentioned, are accepted to the medical school within a year, compared to the national average of 40%, and you're producing nurses. This is a part of our great educational system in South Carolina that's been recognized not only around our state, not only around the country, but around the world. And here's the proof that I'm talking about. We have businesses here all over the world that could be spending, investing millions, hundreds of millions, and billions of dollars anywhere in the world. And they're looking to go to a place where they can thrive, where they can succeed, where they can depend on the people, where there's continuity, dependability. They know that they'll be safe, that they'll be secure. And they will tell you, as they have with BMW, with Michelin, with Bridgestone, with Boeing, with Volvo, with Mercedes, and all the rest, they could go anywhere in the world, and they come to South Carolina. The biggest manufacturing plant, as you know, that BMW has in the world is right here in our state. I mean, we're at the top of everybody's list. Why is that? Well, it could be because of the climate, because we do have a wonderful climate. And we have the beaches on one end and the mountains on the other and rivers in the middle and all the animals you can think of, snakes, possums, deer, everything. They're all out there, butterflies. I tell you what we're doing at the mansion, we've created a butterfly garden because we found out that the monarch butterflies have a route that they fly. And they start somewhere in Canada and go somewhere in Mexico, come through here on the way and then go up to Mississippi going back. And it takes just about a year, I think, for them to make that journey, but the average monarch butterfly only lives for 6 months. How do they know? That's another one of those mysteries. But maybe that's why they come here. But what they tell us is the reason they come is the great institutions of learning. This is one of them. The others as well. We have the best technical college. As Jason, I appreciate a good word in the newspaper the other day. Jason Elliott, thank you. I didn't recognize you either. They come because of our institutions of learning, and we have the best technical college system in the whole world. They tell us that. We have such great potential. We have reached a lot of it, but we got a ways to go. We can go even farther and even better. But here's the thing. They have all said in different language. I've heard it from people in Japan, from South Korea, from Germany, from France, from all over. They say the 3 reasons why we come to South Carolina is because of the people, the people, the people. It's the people. So what makes our people different? Well, I think I know the answer to that. Part of it is 2 main elements. One is our military tradition. We've been fighting since the very beginning. We've had to fight our way in and out of everything. And I was reading our state guard, by the way, the militia, is the oldest in continuous existence anywhere in the United States. Started in 1670. Others started earlier but were discontinued. They are terrific. That's the State Guard. We have a great, strong military tradition with 8 major bases, and the Coast Guard is getting ready to open up. And that military tradition adds continuity, strength, dependability, and character. But we also have a strong Judeo-Christian tradition that's unmistakable. And I believe when you add those 2 together and put them in what the explorers from the 1500s called paradise, they were sending the message back to their sovereigns that there's no place in the New World equal to this place that we now call South Carolina. When you mix those kind of people with those kind of experiences, those kind of values, and put them down in a place, this paradise, you end up with a place that people all over the world want to be. So I want to thank you for doing your part in doing this. And I remind you, as Mark Clark, who's great, either 3 or 4-star general, World War II, later was president of the Citadel, said there's more patriotism per square inch in South Carolina than any place in the world. And that patriotism translates into loyalty, into dependability, into friendships, and into places like this one and what you're doing today. So on behalf of 5 million plus happy, proud South Carolinians, congratulations to all of you that have played such a great role in making this school stronger and making South Carolina even a better, stronger, happier, more prosperous place to live. Thank you.